Thank you very much. Professor Chair, I am also requesting to stand on the existing protocols to move on for the sake of time. Good morning to you all. Great. I am truly honored to stand here this morning to deliver this keynote speech on a subject that holds great personal significance to me, while also bearing immense importance to the welfare of nurses and midwives and to the global community. Investing in nursing and midwifery is a strategic response to the right to health, and it is a loaded but inappropriate theme for this ceremony. In my preparation for this speech, I came across a phenomenal definition for the word invest from the Oxford Dictionary, and it states that to invest means to make someone or something seem to have a particular quality, straight away from financial investment like we all know, right? Let me repeat. To make someone or something seem to have a particular quality. That's the meaning of the word invest from that dictionary. It signifies an intuitive recognition of the necessity for providing nursing and midwifery with a particular quality. This distinct quality that we are all looking for requires the involvement of all Ghanaians, all of us. It is widely acknowledged that nursing and midwifery are the backbone, as you have heard from previous speakers. These professionals are the backbone of all healthcare systems globally. These dedicated professionals play a critical role in ensuring that the right to health, a fundamental human right, is upheld for every individual, irrespective of their background or any other circumstances. This morning, Professor Chair, I would like to discuss some reasons why we should all invest in nursing and midwifery, and also propose key strategic areas in which we can invest. And I'm hoping that we have potential investors here, and even if we don't, we all are potential investors. And I would like to know how each of us can invest or has been investing, and how you can continue to invest. Professor Chair, so let me now turn to the reasons why we should invest in nursing and midwifery. The first reason is that the right to health is a fundamental human right. The right to health is a fundamental human right. This right to health is enshrined in various international human rights instruments and documents, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Constitution of the World Health Organization. And these are all documents available online. You can look them up. This right means that every individual should enjoy the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health without discrimination of any kind. The right to health is not a privilege exclusively reserved for the fortunate few, but a universal entitlement for all of us. Indeed, I acknowledge that there are many categories of healthcare professionals. However, we all agree that a larger proportion of these professionals are nurses and midwives. Investing in nursing and midwifery is a strategic imperative because these professions are indispensable in delivering quality healthcare services especially at the primary healthcare level. Nurses and midwives are often the first point of contact, as we all know, for individuals seeking medical attention. We all know the global significance of the services these professionals provide. Therefore, I only need to remind all of us that nurses and midwives provide essential care that leads to the achievement of this critical right to health for all. Reason number 2 why we need to invest in nursing and midwifery, and this is to address health disparities. Nurses and midwives, by virtue of their training, are uniquely positioned to address health disparities. Globally, we have several disparities in health, but I will limit this discussion to disparities in healthcare access, disease burden, mental health care, and health insurance, to mention a few. In order to ensure improvement in these disparities, we need to invest in a strategic education and training of nurses and midwives to provide culturally competent and community-focused care directed at reducing these health disparities. Investing in these professions will also strengthen the healthcare system's resilience and sustainability. When COVID-19 landed in our territory, we all saw the dedicated services from nurses and midwives. They played an essential role in responding to this global crisis. Therefore, by having a robust workforce of well-trained, well-supported professionals, we are better prepared to handle unexpected challenges and emergencies. Reason number 3 why we need to invest in nursing and midwifery, and this is to create supportive work environments. To ensure the right to health for all, we must invest not only in the education and training of our nurses, but also create supportive work environments for these professionals. This encompasses providing equitable remuneration, safeguarding their psychological and physical welfare, as well as promoting their career development. In addition to these, to recognizing their commitment and selflessness, it is critical to equip them with the resources they require to excel in their roles as healthcare professionals. Professor Chair, my 4th reason why we must invest in nursing and midwifery is to harness the expertise of nurses and midwives at all levels. Let's all note that it is only when you sow your seeds that you can reap the fruits. Therefore, after investing in quality education and training of nurses and midwives, it is vital to engage them in decision-making processes at all levels of the healthcare system. They possess invaluable insights and expertise that can inform policies and practices, ultimately leading to more effective patient and family-centered care. Despite the fact that a considerable number of midwives and nurses in Ghana hold master's and doctoral degrees, it seems that these experts have been confined only to the classrooms. Undoubtedly, these professionals have a lot to contribute in shaping our healthcare system. So I am sending a message now through the rep of the Honorable Minister for Health to please let him know that we are aware that nurses and midwives have a directorate in his ministry. And for this reason, he should kindly invest in this directorate and reap the benefits by involving all of us in their decision making. Professor Chair, having explained the rationale for investing, I would now like to discuss the strategic investment areas in nursing and midwifery. But let me emphasize that investing in nursing and midwifery is a multi-layered endeavor that requires strategic planning and thoughtful implementation. So let's look at the strategic area number 1, which is in the area of nursing education and training programs. Prof. Chair, the heads of all training institutions, especially at the university level, will attest that we are all expanding and improving on our educational programs to ensure that our trainee nurses and midwives are given contemporary knowledge and skills in relation to the latest medical advancements and technology development. One area that can boost this up-to-date training of nurses and midwives is the use of simulation laboratories. However, how many of these training institutions can boast of simulation labs? Meanwhile, the use of high-fidelity mannequins in simulation labs is what is trending all over the world in many nursing and midwifery training schools as the best way to create real-life situations for our learners. Although these mannequins required in the simulation labs are quite expensive, it is best practice for us all, training or heads of training institutions, to acquire them. Investing in the use of simulation labs can improve nursing, education, and practice. Still on education and training, we need to establish scholarship programs and financial incentives for nurses and midwives who are pursuing higher education. As a lecturer of nurses and midwives at the master's and the PhD levels, I see the financial struggles of my students every day. It is unfortunate and sad to note that many of our educational institutions do not have any scholarships to support these students, although we all know that the beneficiaries of their education is the state. At the family and community level, you, me, our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren will be the greater beneficiaries. I must say that I am a member of the Board of Trustees for Academic Prizes at the University of Ghana. And every year my heart aches for nursing and midwifery. And the reason my heart aches is because nurses and midwives are not part of these awards. And the issue is not because nurses and midwives do not deserve these awards, but these awards are sponsored by individuals and professional groups. No professional group in nursing or midwifery sponsors the best graduating undergraduate nursing or midwifery student or the best graduating MPhil nursing or midwifery students, which is sad. So, Madam President, please think about a GRNMA award for the best graduating undergraduate nursing and midwifery students. And also the best graduating MPhil nursing and midwifery students at the University of Ghana. Nurses are doing well. In fact, our last graduation, the valedictorian for the College of Health Sciences was a nursing student. So we deserve that. Professor Chair, the second strategic area is in the area of professional development opportunities. This This is an area for employers, and I'm sure employers are here or their reps are here, whether private or public. Many nurses and midwives have the zeal for professional development. If you ever have the opportunity to assess the CV of an average nurse or midwife in Ghana, you will be amazed at the number of minor degrees they have gathered. A lot of them gather these minor certificates partly because their employers will not grant them leave for further studies for a year or two. And so those who really want to pursue higher education opt to go on night duty whilst going for their lectures for that higher degree. And in fact, every day in the lecture room, you see all of this. You see nurses and students, nurses and midwives struggling in the lecture rooms. Others are struggling to be awake. Others are giving all kinds of excuses because employers are not releasing them to stay in school. And this is worrying. Gone are the days when we used to hear that we don't need degree nurses at the bedside. We don't need degree nurses at the bedside. Today, there are lots of scientific evidence suggesting a positive correlation between higher education of nurses and better patient outcome. So that saying must die. Therefore, creating opportunities for professional development of nurses and midwives is one of the greatest investment opportunities that we will be happy to have. So employers, please consider investing in the professional development opportunities of nurses and midwives by simply granting them steady leave with pay. The next strategic area, which is the third one, is in competitive compensation. A lot has been said by other speakers about competitive compensation. When it comes to competitive compensation for services provided, the leadership of nurses and midwives always have to fight to ensure that nurses and midwives receive fair and competitive compensation for their skills and dedication. And we have seen that discussion right here. Madam President is reminding GMA about the car waiver. That is an example of that. Why is it that nurses and midwives will always have to fight before they get what belongs to them? So GRNMA is doing a lot. It's already an investment hub with the right leadership, Madam President. Yes, Antoine. However, Madam President, there is more room for improvement. For instance, with your competitive advantage your leadership has, you can do more by harnessing the efforts of international organizations such as ICN to invest in some kind of performance-based excellence awards for nurses and midwives. On this note, I want to use this opportunity to commend the GRNMA and Madam President for your annual awards for nurses and midwives who excel in their roles all over the country. The fourth strategic area, I'm a lecturer, so please permit me. The fourth strategic area is in the area of safe and supportive work environment. Professor Chair, a key investment strategy for nursing and midwifery professionals is to create safe and supportive work environments. Work environments that prioritize the physical and mental well-being of nurses and midwives stand the chance of harvesting more positive patient outcomes. When nurses and midwives have improved physical and mental well-being, their patients would definitely enjoy quality services. In fact, it is not just the employer who should pay attention to this strategic area, but this goes for all of us who occupy leadership positions. Toxic working environments slow down productivity. And every nurse manager can create a positive work environment if you are mindful of your thoughts, your beliefs, behavior, and actions. It is worth emphasizing that establishing support systems such as counseling services to help nurses and midwives cope with the challenges of their roles, I believe, will be very much appreciated. I heard somebody whisper that who takes care of the nurse? And I want to emphasize that who takes care of the nurse? Strategic area number 5 is in technology integration. I know some of us are still of the view that we were born before computer. But the hard truth is that if we all remain fixated in our old ways of doing things, the world will leave us behind. Currently, the use of technology is an inevitable aspect of contemporary society, where the use of technology is almost like a lifeline to many activities. In order to improve our teaching, education, and research, we need to invest in integrated technology to streamline workflows and enhance the efficiency of nursing and midwifery practices. In order to ensure that nurses and midwives can leverage on technology effectively in their daily duties, we need to include a training on the use of healthcare technology in all our educational curricula and in-service training programs. Another area that we can invest in is in research and innovation support. Professor Chair, fellow nurses and midwives, we do have the capacity to conduct innovative research in nursing and midwifery, considering our educational advancement to the level of PhD. Every nurse or midwife with a PhD has been trained on how to conduct empirical research. But do we have the support of our fellow nurses and midwives? There is a serious need for us to support by investing in research initiatives that contribute to the advancement of nursing and midwifery practices. We need to encourage our nurses and midwives to engage in research activities and implement evidence-based practices in their work. When you train a nurse or a midwife to do research, you have invested immensely in nursing and midwifery. Prof. Chair, the last but not the least strategic area is in policy advocacy. It is not enough to produce empirical evidence as a researcher and not be involved in policy advocacy. Every policy developed or analyzed is based on scientific evidence used. Advocating for policies that recognize the value of nursing and midwifery and addressing any regulatory barriers that may hinder their effectiveness will be cherished by all. Prof. Chair, by investing in these strategic areas, we can create a foundation for sustained and meaningful opportunities for nursing and midwifery. This in turn will contribute to the improvement of healthcare systems, the well-being of our nurses and midwives, and the overall health outcomes of families and communities. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, investing in nursing and midwifery is a strategic response to the right to health. By doing so, we will not only fulfill our moral or legal obligation to provide healthcare to all, but also strengthen the healthcare systems, reduce health disparities, and ensure our readiness to face unforeseen challenges. I urge you all to join hands in supporting nursing and midwifery, not just in words, but in actions. Let us recognize the immense value they bring to our society and prioritize the investment necessary to secure a healthier, equitable, and resilient future for all. Together, we can truly make the right to health a reality for everyone, everywhere in the globe. Thank you all for listening.